So I mentioned before that I have a pretty big position in Crocs, and on Friday you will notice that the market tanked hard. And you might be wondering if I'm still holding on to it or if I sell it. Did I buy more? Let's talk about it. So Trump heard that he did not win the Nobel Peace Prize, and he reacted to that by threatening 100% additional tariffs on China, and that spooked the market. So this is a 1-year chart of Crocs, and as you can see, it's down almost 50%, and it's quite volatile. So what I had been doing is using it as a trading sardine and sort of buying and selling. So I would buy it when it would get around $100 and sell it when it would be around 104, 105, 108. Not small, not doing it with big amounts, but just something to keep busy. And then all of a sudden it took a big dive, and it's a lot more attractive now. So I've mentioned before, one of the best investors you've never heard of is this guy, Norbert Lou. If you Google him, you'll find that you can't even find a picture of him online. That's how secretive he is. And normally he only owns 3 or 4 stocks, and sometimes will go a few years before buying anything. But a few months ago, he made big additions to Crocs and PayPal new positions, and added to Pinduoduo, which owns Temu. So what's the big deal with Crocs? So Crocs looks like it's trading at a PE of 20, but it's not. It's actually trading at about 5 to 6 times free cash flow. So Crocs had bought a company called Hey Dude, which makes ugly boat shoes, but was growing a lot. And then the company last quarter, sales for that brand were down about 20%, but for Crocs as a whole were up about 5%. And so they took a write down on that. And when you take a write down on something, under the accounting rules, it counts as income or loss. And so it looks like it lost a lot of money. But if you look at the cash that's coming in, a write down of something you bought doesn't affect the cash you have coming in. So it's trading about 5 to 6 times free cash flow, which is incredibly cheap. And unlike Lululemon, which is shrinking, although the Hey Dude acquisition is down about 20%, as I said, Crocs as a whole is growing, and it's growing about 30% last year in China. So a small part of their sales now, but China and India are growing. And obviously tariffs had an impact on Crocs because they import a lot of their shoes. But this incredibly cheap 5 to 6 times free cash flow includes the effect of tariffs. So if the tariffs go away, margins should go up. And if the tariffs don't go away, you're buying a company that's still growing, and you're getting it at 5 to 6 times free cash flow. And the parts where it's growing a lot, India and China, don't have tariffs because they're making the Crocs overseas. So I like it. It's a nice setup from there. And as I said, this is a new position for legendary investor Norbert Lou. And at the end of last quarter, when he initiated his position, his price was probably around $100. So you're getting it about 30% cheaper than him. And I have accounts with different brokers, but this is one that I have with Robinhood just to show you something. So I sold this put before the crash about a week or two ago, and I got $1.70 times 100 is $170. So the the put is $78, but if you subtract the $170 I got, anything above 76.30 I will break even or make money. So if it trades below $78 by next Friday, they could make me buy 100 shares, which would be $7,800. But because I got some money for this, if it's trading above 76.30, even though it's below 70, I will still come out ahead. And last Friday when this sank, I had some puts. I think it was at $80, and now it's $78. So I got assigned some puts, and I had to buy another $8,000 worth. But, I did get some money from that to offset that from the puts I sold. And Crocs is a very interesting brand in that if you go on Amazon and search for Crocs and you do a price from low to high, you can get them as low as $15. And then if you sort high to low, you'll see that they go up as high as $200. And they're all injection molded plastic. So it would be hard to undercut these guys because they dominate the low end, they dominate the high end. And if you think these are ugly shoes, you're not alone. A lot of people do. But that's a feature, not a bug. So people wear these because they're comfortable, not because they're fashionable. I have 2 pair. When they wear out, I buy 2 more pair, and then they wear out and I buy 2 more pair. So it's almost like I have a subscription to Crocs. If they can turn around Hey Dude, it can do really well. If they can't do what they want with this brand, the rest of Crocs, I think you're buying it so cheaply that even with the tariffs and everything else, I think it's a good deal. So I'm not telling you to buy it. I'm not telling you to sell it. This is just me walking through my process. You should do your own research. Look at the financials, look at everything else, and decide if it's something for you. So as you can see, Crocs, about half of their stuff they sell in stores and half of it is customers buying directly from them online. And even though Hey Dude was a terrible idea, most of the company is still Crocs, and that is growing. And as I said, even though the Hey Dude brand is declining over last year, the Crocs brand is growing, especially in places like China and India. So again, I'm not recommending to buy it. I'm not recommending to sell it. I like it at these prices. I was sort of juicing the returns by selling puts, which were generally expiring without getting exercised, but I did get exercised on some, and I'm okay with that because if I liked it at $84 and then I'm getting assigned puts at 80 or even lower, then I'm lowering my cost for it. And what I can do is on the puts that I get assigned, if I hold them for 30 days, then I can sell the higher cost ones and I won't get this wash sale rule. And I also own some long-term options calls on Crocs that I finance by selling long-term puts. And I can discuss that in a separate video if people are interested in, but that's my thought on Crocs. So I still like it, still holding, and I know it's a very controversial one. People either love it or hate it, and people like to compare this to another beaten up country. People like to compare it to another beaten up company like Lululemon, but I like this better because Lululemon is beaten up, but they are shrinking, and Hey Dude is beaten up, but it's still growing. And Lululemon is a brand that is very fashionable, and fashions go in and out of fad. And Hey Dude might be a fashion brand, but it's a small part of it. And Crocs are not intended to be fashionable. They are intended to be comfortable, and comfort doesn't go out of fashion. So that's my thoughts on it. If you guys have thoughts on it, let me hear comments on it. If there's a video you'd like to see that you haven't seen, let me know below. If you want to support the channel, subscribe and hit like so that you'll see future videos like this. And there's a Buy Me a Coffee and a Robinhood link if you want to support the channel that way, but don't feel like you have to. So have a great day, everyone.